Hey guys, we're here looking at a tool that you'll be using often during our next module, and it's called a protractor. So what you see here before you is an image of a protractor, and this is the best way I could show you some tips on how to use this tool. So first of all, you'll notice that there are numbers, and this is obviously an arc. You could think of it a half circle, and if you have any familiarity with circles, you'll notice that these numbers represent the angles of degree of measurement. So right here in the center, if you have your protractor available to you right now, you're going to notice on the plastic protractor, a lot of times protractors will have a little hole or a dot, or you could say like a bullseye where there might be a point right there. And that is your reference point of placing your protractor over the vertex of an angle where two lines or two line segments are touching or intersecting. So this is where you want to place it. So say I have my protractor and I see an angle such as the red one that I have here I've formed. So I'd place this protractor right there on that arrow point of those two line segments, and then I would go ahead and measure starting on the right side. You'll see it says 0, so I'll find the reference degree 0, and then I'll start measuring counterclockwise in this direction, opposite of how the clock hands move. And you'll notice it goes from 0, starting here, and then all the way up to 10 and 11 and so on, and it keeps going. So as I move around the protractor, you'll notice I can measure accurately what those degrees are. So half of a circle just happens to be 180 degrees. A quarter of it would be 90 degrees, and that's something you'll be learning is called a right angle. Okay, and then some protractors, the one that you have, most likely allows you to measure clockwise. So you're going to notice if you were to flip this over, like the mirror image of it, there'll be a 0 and then there'll be a 180 next to it. And the protractor you guys have, you'll see it says there's a line down here on the protractor, and then that horizontal line would be at the 0 point, and then it'll go 10 on the inside, but then on the outside of it, it'll be saying like 170, and then it counts backwards, starting from 180 here to 170 and 160, and then it'll go all the way down to a 0 again. So that just means that you can use a protractor and start your measurement from 0, and you can use it on the opposite end going clockwise this way. So if you use it that direction, say I want to measure an angle over here, and let's take this angle, and I said I wanted to start here, you'll notice I can get down to 10 again, and I said I want to start as this one as 0. So you look at your protractor, you'll see a horizontal line again, and then it goes up to 10. So you'll notice at 170, 10 and 170 line up together because it's the mirror image of that. Okay, so again, as you measure, you go 10, 20, 30, 40, and then back to 90 again up here, and then all of a sudden you're back to 180 again. Okay, so just want to point that out, that don't be afraid to see that this protractor you have borrowed is probably multi-directional, so clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on how you plan to use or place your protractor on the angles that you're measuring on the paper or that you're creating from pictures and so forth. So get used to playing with it. Don't be afraid to experiment a little bit on how you use the protractor as we jump into the lessons.